I will never forget the very first lesson that I learned in my affiliate marketing journey. It was during a time which I dropped out of college. I had this great big ambition to start an online business for myself from home without having any kind of degree. And I was feeling uncertain. I didn't know if I had made the right decision or not. It just so happened that when I attended my very first coaching call for the affiliate marketing company I was promoting at the time, my coaches and mentors, Ace and Rich Guzman, were the speakers on this call. And I was expecting them to talk about marketing strategies, marketing tips. I didn't know what to expect. But when they started opening the training, when they started opening the call, they were talking about a powerful life lesson that also ties into business. Something that not only resonates with me, but you can resonate with this as well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to read to you the poem that they read aloud to those people on that day, because you can learn something from this poem. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. This poem is called The Dash by Linda Ellis. So I'll go ahead and blow this up here so you can follow along. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears. But what he said, what mattered most of all, was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So, think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? How powerful is that poem? But let me ask you something. If today was your last day, and you knew that tomorrow was never going to show up, would you be happy with how you lived your life? Would you be happy of the things that you did with it? Did you accomplish everything that you wanted to do with your life? Did you have enough time to spend with your loved ones? Now be honest with yourself here. If the answer that comes back is no, then it's time for a change. And no, I'm not talking about creating a New Year's resolution, because let's face it, New Year's resolutions simply don't work. Why? Because they're a lousy tradition and they're a lousy trend that people blindly follow just for the sake of it. They don't become serious and committed to making the changes that they know they need to make in their lives. You want to know something? You don't need to wait for a special occasion like New Year's Day to finally make a change. You can change your life at any given moment in time. You only have the present moment to do that. Now, if you haven't been focusing on bettering yourself, now is the time to change all of that. You got to help yourself before you focus on helping others. It's okay to be a little selfish and give to yourself. Now, I don't take the credit for what I just said there. I learned that from my mentor, Rich Guzman. He also added, the more you give to yourself, the more you can give to others. Now, what were we taught when it came to giving to ourselves? We were taught that it was a very selfish thing to do, and we were neglecting humanity. But actually, it couldn't be further from the truth. We must focus on ourselves in order to give to others on a much more grand scale than if we were giving from limitations. Because let's face it, if we don't take the time to focus on bettering ourselves, loving ourselves more, then what ends up happening is when we give to other people, we're coming from a very limited place. Whereas if we focus on bettering ourselves, loving ourselves, and taking better care of ourselves, we can be in a position to give back to others tenfold. When we give to others from that place, it's going to feel awesome. It's going to feel genuine. It's not going to feel like a responsibility. Are you following what I'm saying here? It's not going to feel like a responsibility. It's going to come from a place of abundance. Now, I remember I struggled with this dating all the way back from when I was a kid in school. I was always taught that you got to focus on helping others before you can help yourself. But I realized that kind of thinking got me being troubled as I got into my young adult years. I didn't understand the importance of working on your mindset. I didn't understand the importance of giving to myself. I didn't understand the importance of loving myself. But when I finally got the wake-up call from that day that my coaches and mentors, Ace and Rich Guzman, were talking, I started changing. I started committing to myself that I am going to make my life so much better than what I was dealt with growing up. You got to make a commitment to yourself that the next 5 years of your life are not going to look like the last 5 years of your life. If you're not happy with how things have been up to this point in this moment in time right now, it's time to change all of that. And not by making a New Year's resolution, it's by committing to change right now. Because what do you have? You only have the present moment. You only have the now. So make right now the time that you encourage change in your life, that you are going to commit to it no matter how hard it gets on any given day. You don't need to wait for a special occasion. You don't need to wait around for other people to give you the approval. The only approval that you need is your own. If you haven't been happy with how you've written your story up to this point, take that pen, turn the page, start writing an amazing story for yourself because you deserve it.